The grand ballroom of the five-star hotel buzzed with anticipation. Cameras flashed, journalists whispered, and businessmen adjusted their ties nervously as they waited for the arrival of Sheikh Karim Al Mansour, a billionaire investor from Dubai. For weeks, the city had been preparing for this moment. If Karim decided to invest, thousands of jobs would be created and the local economy would boom. But everyone also knew he was a man of few words and even fewer second chances. That evening, when he finally arrived in his immaculate white thobe and sharp gaze, the entire room fell silent. He walked with authority, his entourage behind him, his expression unreadable. He glanced around, unimpressed, as the mayor and city officials rushed forward with rehearsed smiles and prepared speeches. They tried to explain their proposals, showing graphs and statistics on giant screens, but Karim's face remained cold. He had heard it all before. He had seen numbers manipulated, promises broken, and dreams sold for profit. After nearly an hour of listening, he closed the leather folder in front of him, stood up slowly, and with a single shake of his head, made it clear, he was not interested. Gasps filled the room. People looked at one another in panic, whispers spreading like wildfire. The mayor stammered, "Please, Mr. Al Mansour, perhaps we can," but Karim had already turned his back. He began walking toward the exit, his footsteps echoing across the marble floor. Everyone knew, when he walked away, there was no return. But fate had written a different plan. At the far corner of the ballroom, unnoticed by most, stood an old janitor named Samir. He had been sweeping quietly, head lowered, as the event unfolded. For 20 years, he had worked in this hotel, polishing its floors and carrying its burdens without complaint. His clothes were faded, his back slightly bent from years of labor, but his eyes held a quiet dignity. That evening, his teenage daughter, Layla, had insisted on accompanying him. She was a bright girl, just 16, with dreams larger than her family's small apartment could hold. She had always been curious about the world, about languages, about cultures. As Karim strode toward the exit, Layla's eyes widened. She recognized something in his expression, an exhaustion, a loneliness, a man who had built empires yet was still searching for meaning. Without thinking, her voice rang out across the hall. The Arabic words echoed like a bell in the silent room. Everyone turned in shock, searching for the source. There she stood, a janitor's daughter, her voice trembling but her eyes steady. Karim froze mid-step. Slowly, he turned around. Few in this city spoke his native tongue, and fewer still spoke it with such sincerity. He walked back, his sharp eyes narrowing on the young girl. "What did you say?" he asked in Arabic. Layla swallowed hard but didn't back down. "I said, please wait. Don't leave yet." The room fell into stunned silence. The officials shifted uncomfortably, not knowing whether to intervene or remain quiet. Samir's hands shook as he clutched his broom, terrified his daughter's boldness might cost him his job. But Karim's gaze softened ever so slightly. He motioned for everyone else to step back and focused only on her. "You speak my language?" he asked. Layla nodded. "I've been learning for 3 years. From books, from videos, from anyone who would teach me. My dream is to work in international relations one day, to be a bridge between people who don't understand each other." Karim studied her face, intrigued. "Why did you call me back?" Her voice quivered, but her words carried weight. "Because I saw you walking away. Not from numbers. Not from charts. You were walking away from people who don't see you as a person, only as money. But you should know, not everyone sees you that way. Some of us see the man, not just the billionaire." The words struck him deeper than he expected. Memories of his own childhood, lonely nights, the pressure of carrying his family name, the constant suspicion of people's intentions, flooded his mind. He had always felt invisible behind the weight of his wealth. And now, a janitor's daughter, with nothing to gain, spoke to him as if he were human. He asked her questions, switching fully into Arabic. About her life, her dreams, her family. She answered honestly, telling him about her father's sacrifices, how she studied under streetlights when electricity was cut off, how she believed language could heal divides. The officials in the room watched, helpless, as this unexpected conversation unfolded in a tongue they could not understand. Finally, Karim smiled faintly, the first genuine smile anyone had seen that evening. He turned to the stunned mayor and said firmly, "I will invest. But not because of your proposals. I will invest because of the people here, people like her and her father. If this city can raise a girl with such courage and wisdom, then it is worth my trust." The room erupted in relief and applause, but Layla hardly heard it. She stood frozen, hardly believing what had just happened. Her father's eyes filled with tears as he hugged her tightly, whispering, "You changed everything, my daughter." In the weeks that followed, Kareem's investment transformed the city. New schools, businesses, and opportunities sprang up. And among the scholarships he personally funded, one bore a special name, the Layla Foundation for Languages and Cultural Understanding. It ensured that children like her, no matter their background, would have the chance to learn, to dream, and to speak across borders. But for Layla, the true reward wasn't the recognition, or even the scholarship she received. It was the knowledge that a single voice, spoken with courage and truth, could change the course of history. And for Kareem, it was the reminder that sometimes, the most powerful conversations don't happen in boardrooms or contracts, but in the unexpected honesty of a child who dares to speak.